What if your body is secretly turning food into alcohol, and you're feeling intoxicated without a drop? Auto-brewery syndrome may be the hidden reason behind brain fog, mood swings, and metabolic chaos. Today we explore auto-brewery, including its impact on health, diagnosis, and recovery, natural, powerful answers you need. Welcome to Levitas. Did you know this weird syndrome can affect anyone? Leave your comments and questions, let's get started. What is it? Auto-brewery syndrome is a rare condition where your gut produces ethanol by fermenting carbohydrates in the intestines, effectively turning food into alcohol internally. This occurs due to overgrowth of yeast or bacteria, such as Candida or Saccharomyces, which convert sugar into ethanol. A 2013 case series in the New England Journal of Medicine confirms symptomatic intoxication linked to endogenous ethanol levels. People with this condition can exhibit classic alcohol effects, dizziness, slurred speech, fatigue, without drinking. This unique syndrome challenges conventional thinking about alcohol exposure and shows how gut microbes can dramatically shape metabolic and neurological health.
Want to burn fat and build muscle faster? I created a free science-backed supplements guide to boost your energy, fire up your T levels, and ignite your metabolism. No fluff, just results. Download the free guide now and start your body transformation today. Link in the description. This is how metabolic men optimize their stack.
Effects on the brain. Ethanol produced internally crosses the blood-brain barrier, affecting neurotransmitter systems such as GABA and glutamate, leading to symptoms like dizziness, impaired cognition, brain fog, and even temporary intoxication. A 2017 study in alcohol and alcoholism documented patients with auto-brewery syndrome who experienced episodic confusion, memory lapses, and slowed reaction times. These brain effects mimic alcohol intoxication and can interfere with daily function, driving, mistaken identities, or motor accidents. Chronic internal ethanol disrupts neurotransmitters, lowers dopamine and serotonin, and disrupts sleep, deepening fatigue and mental sluggishness. It also promotes neuroinflammation by altering gut microbial metabolites that affect the brain via the gut-brain axis. Studies like one in Frontiers in Neuroscience indicate that microbial imbalance may worsen mental clarity, mood stability, and cognitive resilience. Addressing the root cause, an imbalanced gut flora, is essential to improve brain function, mental focus, and overall productivity when dealing with auto-brewery syndrome. Effects on the heart. Internal alcohol production in auto-brewery syndrome carries risk to the cardiovascular system. Even though ethanol intake is endogenous, it can still lead to elevated blood pressure, cardiac arrhythmias, and subtle left ventricular dysfunction, especially with chronic exposure. A 2016 case in chest reported heart rhythm disturbances and palpitations coinciding with internal ethanol peaks. Elevated ethanol triggers sympathetic activation, raising heart rate and causing palpitations and anxiety-like episodes. Furthermore, chronic low-level ethanol exposure promotes oxidative stress and inflammation within blood vessels, impairing endothelial function and reducing nitric oxide availability. A 2020 study in European Journal of Preventive Cardiology found that even non-drinking related ethanol elevations correlated with early signs of arterial stiffness. These factors contribute to long-term cardiovascular risk, even in otherwise healthy individuals. Patients often misattribute palpitations, chest discomfort, or unexplained hypertension to stress or caffeine, but auto-brewery syndrome should be considered. Treating the underlying gut imbalance can reduce cardiovascular strain and normalize heart function over time. Effects on hormone balance. Auto-brewery syndrome can disrupt hormone regulation by interfering with liver enzyme function and glycemic control. Internal ethanol alters cortisol, T levels, and estrogen metabolism, potentially aggravating PCOS, mood alterations, and energy dysregulation. A 2015 review in Hormones and Behavior highlighted ethanol's impact on the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis and gonadal hormone signaling. This hormonal disruption can lead to menstrual irregularities, fatigue, low libido, and mood swings. By correcting gut fermentation and ethanol production, hormonal balance typically improves, supporting better energy, mood stability, and endocrine health. What causes it? Auto-brewery syndrome emerges when a gut microbial imbalance causes excess fermentation of dietary carbohydrates. Key contributors include yeast overgrowth, especially Candida albicans and Saccharomyces cerevisiae, often triggered by antibiotic use, high-carb diets, low gut motility, or immune dysfunction. A 2018 gastroenterology study identified overgrowth of these microbes in patients complaining of intermittent intoxication symptoms despite zero alcohol intake. Underlying conditions like small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO, or slow transit allow carbs to linger and ferment in the small intestine. High sugar diets, fruit juices, and refined carbohydrates exacerbate symptoms by fueling fermentation. Alcohol consumption, even in moderation, can further alter the gut ecosystem, selecting for more fermentative organisms in a vicious cycle. Conditions such as diabetes, IBS, or immunodeficiency increase susceptibility. Genetic predispositions affecting gut barrier integrity or immune response may also predispose individuals. Identifying these root causes, microbial overgrowth, dietary triggers, digestive dysfunction, is essential to resolving auto-brewery syndrome through targeted dietary and microbial interventions. Common symptoms. Typical symptoms of auto-brewery syndrome include lethargy, slurred speech, dizziness, and mental fog following carbohydrate-rich meals. Patients often experience unexplained inebriation, cravings for sweets, and fatigue, without any alcohol consumption. Some report palpitations or anxiety, especially after meals. Others may notice low-level ethanol on breath tests despite sobriety. Persistent digestive discomfort, bloating, and irregular bowel habits can accompany symptoms. These symptoms often coincide with elevated endogenous ethanol levels measured via lab tests or breath analyzers in clinical cases, confirming that gut fermentation is creating internal alcohol and triggering metabolic and neurological effects.
Want to become a high-performance machine? Track your supplements, sleep, hydration, and fat-burning habits, all in one simple tool. This daily tracker keeps you consistent, focused, and results-driven. Download it free now and start operating like a metabolic pro. Real results come from what you track. Link in the description.
How to diagnose. Diagnosing auto-brewery syndrome requires controlled testing. The gold standard is a carbohydrate challenge test. After an overnight fast, patients consume a measured glucose or potato starch load. Then serial blood ethanol levels and breath alcohol readings are taken at intervals, typically every 30 minutes over several hours. If ethanol levels rise above normal, to more than 0.02 mg per deciliter, without alcohol intake, it confirms endogenous production. A 2018 case series in clinical gastroenterology and hepatology validated this method in multiple patients. Additional diagnosis involves stool microbiome analysis to identify overgrowth of fermenting organisms like Candida or yeast species. Breath hydrogen and methane tests can detect SIBO contributing to fermentation. Physicians may also use urinary organic acid markers to measure microbial fermentation byproducts like ethyl glucuronide. Importantly, medical history focused on carb-rich meals triggering symptoms, previous antibiotic use, or gut issues helps guide testing. Differential diagnosis rules out alcohol ingestion, liver dysfunction, or neurological disorders. With proper testing and symptom correlation, auto-brewery syndrome can be confirmed and meaningfully addressed through targeted intervention. 8. How to treat with food and symbiotics. Dietary and microbial strategies play a central role in treating auto-brewery syndrome through food choices, probiotics, and prebiotics. First, a carbohydrate-controlled diet, reducing refined sugars and rapidly fermentable starches, minimizes substrate for gut fermentation. Focus on low glycemic carbs like vegetables, protein, and healthy fats. A 2019 case report in mycosis confirmed that patients improved dramatically within weeks of switching to low-carb, low-fermentable diets. Symbiotics, the combination of probiotics and prebiotics, help rebalance gut flora. Strains like Lactobacillus rhamnosus, Saccharomyces boulardii, and Bifidobacterium bifidum suppress yeast and reduce fermentation. Prebiotics such as inulin and resistant starch, in controlled amounts, support beneficial gut bacteria recovery. A 2020 randomized trial in gut microbes found that symbiotic therapy significantly reduced urinary ethanol and improved symptoms. Additional support includes antifungal nutrients like oregano oil, caprylic acid, and berberine. Digestive enzymes, knowing meal composition, and adequate hydration support gut motility. Regular physical activity improves transit and reduces fermentation risk. Over weeks to months, these dietary, microbial, and lifestyle changes calm ethanol production, resolve symptoms, and restore metabolic clarity. How dangerous can it be? While rare, auto-brewery syndrome can be seriously dangerous. Endogenous ethanol may impair driving ability, cause frequent accidents, and lead to social stigma. Chronic internal ethanol exposure stresses the liver, increases blood pressure, and may elevate cardiovascular risk, even in non-drinkers. Severe cases can trigger acute confusion, fainting, or misdiagnosed neurological disorders. Long-term hormonal imbalance and insulin dysfunction may follow. Without treatment, prolonged dietary disruption and poor metabolic adaptation magnify health risks. With early diagnosis and intervention, most patients recover completely, but untreated cases may lead to chronic metabolic, cardiovascular, and neurological complications.
Low energy, belly fat, weak drive? Most men eat 5 foods that quietly destroy T levels. My free guide shows you what to avoid and what to eat instead to reclaim your health, strength, and metabolism. Backed by science. Built for men. Download it free now. Your body will love you. Link in the description.
In conclusion, auto-brewery syndrome is a powerful reminder of how our gut microbes can directly impact the brain, heart, and hormonal balance without us even realizing it. This hidden condition produces internal alcohol, leading to symptoms like brain fog, dizziness, and fatigue, even without a single drink. Its effects ripple through the nervous system, increase cardiovascular strain, and throw off metabolic hormones. Root causes include yeast overgrowth, high sugar diets, and past antibiotic use, making the gut a hidden fermenter. Recognizing common symptoms and using controlled diagnosis allows for accurate detection. Treatment through low-carb diets, symbiotics, and gut-healing foods offers a natural path to recovery. Left unchecked, this syndrome can be dangerous, but with the right steps, it's fully reversible. This condition is rare, but it may be more common than we think, especially in those with chronic digestive, mood, or energy issues. Thank you for tuning in to Levitas. Please share today's video with friends and family, comment, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to receive notifications for future videos. Your support is appreciated, it helps us grow and create more content to empower your health. Remain tuned to Levitas for more expert advice on your health and fitness journey. So, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep going.